So good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining this Trace conversation. I'm really excited. My guest today is Ellen Brown. So she's many things. She wears many hats, mom of a tribe, works for Alpine Capital Solutions. But for the context of this conversation, we're going to talk about that she is the owner of the Dailey Method Indie Studio. So that's how I know her. Let's be honest, she's my boss. But that's what we're going to talk about. And I'm excited, especially in January, walking through her entire journey. Because owning a studio right now is hard in a virtual world, right? Because we're all working virtual. So I'm really excited. Ellen, good morning.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me. And Jillian, you and I were friends before you
Yeah.
worked for me. I just forced you to work for me because I knew you were fabulous. And no, I encourage you to be a teacher. So, but you were a student many years ago.
Many
So,
years. Yeah. I followed you from studio. So we're talking about a bar studio, but
mhm.
Ellen is also a yoga teacher. So I followed her from multiple yoga studios in the city. And then all of a sudden she's like, I'm doing this bar thing. You should try it. And so I came and got my butt kicked and have been here ever since. So I know how
Nice.
obviously I got to the studio. So how did you get to the Daily Method?
Well, I love health and wellness, everything health and wellness. I love fitness. I was in a serious car accident when I was 18, and they thought I'd have problems walking. They thought maybe with a break in the pelvis that I could have trouble giving birth, all the things. And so that just kind of was a wake up call at such a young age to be like, hey, I need to create space in my body so I can move the rest of my life. I don't want to, feel when it rains in my bones all the
Yeah.
time, or all the things. So I started doing yoga and Pilates after that because both of those exercises create space in the body and it's all about moving comfortably and strengthening your core. And so I kind of got into that. And then I was trained to teach IMX Pilates and Reformer Pilates. So I taught Pilates forever, then got certified to teach yoga. And then I actually fell in love with barre before it was even in Indy. I used to go to New York and Chicago and take an exhale, and I would take little parts of the barre a workout back to my Pilates classes here in Indy. So I literally would have people at the wall, this and that. My dad and I actually installed the bars at one of the yoga studios downtown. Yeah, I was like, well, come on, we can just bring the bar here. So then when the Daily Method came here, almost 10 years ago now, which is wild, I had to teach there. I was still living downtown. We had one child. And I trekked to Broad Ripple from Fountain Square 2 times a week for my 6 a.m. classes because I loved it. I had to do it. They had childcare too, which was huge for me having a child then. And I don't know if any studios at the time had childcare, and so it was just like, yeah, I kind of had to force my way into the studio because I really wanted to do it. Obviously, then fell in love with the practice of it. And then even more so fell in love with the community. Then 2 years ago, I was offered to purchase a studio. And it was one of those things. I have a full-time job. I have 3 kids. I am very busy, as all of us are. But it was one of those things that I said, if I don't do this, it was seriously one of those like deathbed moments where I was like, this is something that could be on my deathbed and go, why didn't I ever own my own studio? Because I'm such I don't know, I love health and wellness. I love promoting people to be their best selves. And so it was a no-brainer. And then, I thought I problem shot everything like, oh, well, what if this happens? Okay, I'm sure we'll lose some clients on a transition, this and that. I did not problem shoot a global pandemic.
Oops.
I didn't really throw that in. But fair to say, I don't think most other people would have either. So,
Fair. Fair.
and actually, yeah, so that's how I got there. Sorry, that's a long
No, I
rambling
love that. I
street,
mean,
but
I mean,
let's
it's
go.
important. Yeah, it's important to know the journey and that women can do two things. And I really like to pull on that, that deathbed thought of, God, if I don't do this, I'm just going to have regrets. And granted, being able to buy a studio is a privileged thing, that not everyone can be like, oh, I wish I'd owned a studio. But, I still love to put that in context of not having that deathbed regret. Because I mean, that's not holding space in your body at all. So you touched on the pandemic. Let's go there for a second. The next question that I always ask is, where have you found some struggle? Now, granted, I have insider knowledge a bit that, what the listeners don't have, but, how's some of that struggle? And then go ahead and hit some of that joy and delight on the end, because I think they're a little intertwined for you.
Absolutely. I hear almost every day from a student that says Dailey Method saved me in 2020, which is so, I mean, I literally have goosebumps right now because that's why I wanted to do this, because to create a space for people to be their best selves and work through all the yucky stuff. So, but 2020, like having the Dailey Method, I think saved me, not just the workout, not just the community, but the fact that I had to stay so strong, to give other people that opportunity. Yeah. You know what I mean? To create space for other people. So that was like a saving grace for me. I feel like I was really strong through it all. I'm really impressed. Now, granted, oh my gosh, it's been a total, you know what show. We have, let's just point to the fact of our cycle program. We have moved the bikes from second floor in a single small elevator where you kink the bike in and stand like this so it doesn't move, down the elevator into the parking lot to have outdoor classes. We then transitioned our bikes into a garage for outdoor classes. Now, with the cold weather, with of course the pandemic and limitations, we're doing solo spin classes where we have a TV with our recorded cycle classes from our teachers, and people can book a spot and ride on their own or bring their husband or partner in and ride. So I mean, it's just every time I think I have it figured out, guess what? I don't, right? It's something else that changes. But it's kind of like, how you do Sudoku to make your brain work, right? Yeah. I'm kind of like, well, guess what? What's it going to be today? Like, I'm going to figure it out. And there's been, it's just kind of cool. So yes, definitely challenges. I was proud of the fact that we never missed a day. I had decided to close 2 days before we were mandated to close. I just made a personal decision, but I decided to try a Zoom class. I was like, okay, we'll try this platform, and tried it one day. The next day, all the classes were Zoom. And so we never missed a beat. Not a single class was dropped. Our community, though, I mean, that is incredible how dedicated people are and committed and patient and supportive. To do this on the Zoom, to sit with my face this close to the screen, as I try to figure it all out, and it's just incredible. Everybody's been so patient and so supportive, and yeah, it's been amazing. And what's the coolest thing is that I think I just can't imagine the energy of our community when we do get to be back together, because I think it's stronger. I know. I think it's stronger than ever. I think all of our teachers are going to want to teach that class. It's, because it's going to be so vibrant. Yeah. Like it's just.
Well, I will say as so an instructor, I'm going to touch everybody. It's so weird. I mean, I think that's what I miss the most. I mean, obviously energy in a room, it is hard. And I love how you said, in the camera, I always feel like that, Ace Ventura, like when he's in, I'm always like this in the screen. I was like, people have got to think that she's crazy. But I want to see everyone and I want to see them close. So I think my biggest thing is like, I'm just going to be like, touch everyone all the time. Like I can't wait for that energy. It's so good. So, okay. So those are really big delights. And I love that. So, keeping this concise. So the biggest thing about this platform is that I love that we're kind of sharing your story in a nice nugget size way. So let's transition to, how can the community show up? So granted, we have our community and, that we love and that show up daily, but, what else do you need? What would it be for the community to show up for you? And you, Miss Ellen, don't like asking for help, nor do you like not being the strongest one in the room. So it is a vulnerable moment, but what do you need?
Well, I love that. And, it's interesting because I have such a newfound respect for small business. I've always been, and Jillian, I think you are the cream of the crop, shop local, support local, and I have always tried to do so. But now that I've been in it and been in it in challenging times, like it just, you're like, duh, oh my gosh. Like, I love the little thing where, oh, it was something going on social media going around this holiday season. It showed like two gals behind the desk, like when they made a sale, and they like knelt down and like ran in place, and they were so jazzed about it, And it was like, this is what happens when you buy from a small business, You're literally like making people do a happy dance. So, you know, just spreading the word is the best thing. One, it's a good thing to support us, but like share that there's a place where you can go and be you, whether you're on a good day or a bad day. And I think we're really great at just kind of accepting people where they are, knowing that it's a journey. Every day is different. So spreading the word to have people try the studio, and then just we are kind of trying to boost our retail, since we've lost revenue in class sizes, and our kids room obviously can't be opened. I miss that too. I miss seeing all the babies, and now so many people are pregnant. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to get those babies back in. So just supporting us in different ways, like getting on our retail site. If you're gonna go get workout pants from Lululemon, message Dailey Method, direct message us and say, hey, what do you have? And we love that as well. And just promoting, liking us, sharing when you take a great class. Speaking of which, like, I'm very excited because in February, I've done it the last 2 years and I really love it. Pun intended. I do like a kind of a share the love and local love push,
Yep.
right? So like if you buy a 10-pack, you can give 2 classes to a friend who hasn't tried Dailey Method, like so they can try it out. And then I promote local businesses and promote our community to like those businesses, follow them, and then give something away, to those that do show support to that business, just to kind of keep it local and support other businesses. So that's kind of a fun thing. So if you know of a small business too locally that would like to participate with us, or that you'd like us to promote, we'll do it.
I love that. I love that. And so you're such a big promoter of of health, of wellness, but I think that there's a lot of things that you do outside the studio too, that I'd love for you to share a bit. Excuse me, any more coffee. You really do push, and this isn't the studio specifically, but you really push healthy eating. You really push, having not just external, I shouldn't just say external, but just, not just the workout, but really what's going in the body too. Can you talk just a little bit about that, kind of how you really got into pushing? No, I shouldn't say pushing. That sounds like you're a drug dealer of vegetables, but like how you really encourage, yeah, like how you really encourage, and why, that healthy eating. Cause I think you have a really interesting story too.
Yeah, yeah. So I have dealt with some digestive issues, and here's the thing, I love food. I love the art of food. I think it is absolutely an art. Like, I used to be the person that would be like, no, you cannot substitute something. Like, the chef made it for that reason, and it's going to be a part in your mouth. Like, don't be crazy. Truly, one of my most favorite things my husband Whitney and I have ever done was go to Alinea in Chicago.
Yeah.
I read a book about the chef, realized he was in Chicago. We went there. I mean, it's a 4-hour meal, but like just the most creative, coolest experience ever. So anyway, so I love food, and I used to eat all kinds. And I've always been cognizant of health, with just growing up, and then after my accident, just taking care of myself. But then when I started to have issues with things I was eating, I was like, what in the world? I'm eating healthy stuff. I don't understand. And so it's a lot about every body is different. We know that, right? In our fitness, in our nutrition, in our overall wellness. That just kind of made me dig into foods, which has been an interesting journey. And I still have so much to learn, but I like to share that with people too. I mean, the best thing you can do is not eat the processed garbage. Like, I've been vegan for a year, but that doesn't mean I eat Oreos. Right? Like, you can be a vegan and eat Oreos all day, but that's probably not the best thing for you, because who knew Oreos are vegan? I think that's so bizarre. Um, so, but just fueling yourself, right? You have to fuel yourself, and that's for mood and energy and overall wellness. And then the other huge thing I did was I got paired up with a functional medicine doctor, which I think is so fascinating, because in functional medicine, it's very much based on your wellness instead of treating a disease. So when I was doing this digestive stuff, it was like, oh, well, here, take this pill to help. Take this, let's scope this, let's do this. When to fix one problem, you don't know if you're causing others, kind of
Right.
thing, So I don't know. It's fascinating. And like I said, I still have so much to learn, but I feel like, and I think we're on, as a whole world, I feel like we are on our way to a more kind of focusing more on wellness. My hope, I do think we are. I don't know why. I think I see more places pop up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we're there.
I
That's me.
love
That's
that.
where my passion is. Like, you can tell, I can talk about it all day. I love
I
it.
know. So, well, and that's why I wanted you to touch on that. But so that's a good segue into our final question. The big question of Trace Indy as a whole. But how are you going to leave your trace? What's that legacy? What do you want that to be? What do you want to leave for your kids and for your community?
Oh gosh, see, that's a hard question.
It's hard
But
for everybody.
I know I want, you know, the studio to me is more, and I think I've touched on this already, but it's much more than just a workout. Um, it's even more than the community as well with the workout. But I just think, and you're a big proponent of creating space for people to just be.
Mhm.
And I love hate. I don't know if love's the right word to say, but like, people will come to class and work out and then cry, like, because
Yeah.
there's a physical relief, but then there's the emotional release after it. And I love that people walk in and are in a yucky space, but they still come in. So my big thing, I just want to promote to my children, to our community, to everybody out there, that, you know, just make a commitment to caring for yourself, right? Get up, even on the hard days. After my accident, a dear friend said, "You know what? If there's more good days than bad, you're okay. Like,
Yeah.
you're on the up and up, right?" And so that was kind of a hump for me. But it just, you have to put in time, but find a space, find people who will create space for you, find a community who will create space for you, and just be your very best self, right? I think I'm pretty
Oh,
rad, but I could be way badder. You know what I mean? But like,
I
and
love
I want
that.
everybody to feel that. I really do though. And so that's my big thing. And I think we have really turned a corner in creating that space, especially this year through the pandemic.
Yeah.
We were there, and we were a bright light in people's days, and I want to continue that.
I love it. Oh my God, that's the perfect ending for the whole conversation. So I'm so grateful for you. Thank you for, I know that you worked out this morning, probably 6 a.m. I colored my hair.
Yep.
And then, um, but I'm just really grateful that you spent, 30 minutes with me this morning and had some coffee and got to share a little bit of your journey and your story and why you do what you do. So thank you so much.
Oh, well, thank you.